us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your district.
Well, my name is Joe McDonald. I live in the city of Delano, Minnesota. My district is Wright County, 19B. So I represent Otsego, St. Michael, Albertville, Rockford, Delano, Montrose, and Waverly, and all the townships in between. I'm a professional photographer in Delano. I own McDonald Studio Photography for the last 23 years. My wife and I have the business. I'm married. Rachel is my wife, and I have 3 boys, Alex, Jacob, and Aiden. 3 generations. I have one in college, one in middle school, and one in preschool. So I'm from a family of 7. I have 6 brothers and sisters, born and raised in Watertown, Minnesota, to KJ and Barbara McDonald. A little interesting fact, my father, KJ McDonald, was a state representative here in Minnesota for 14 years. At 10 years old, he was elected in 1976. I was 10 years old then, and I have a 10-year-old now, Jacob. So it's been a very surreal kind of a day in reflecting when I was a 10-year-old running around the hallways of the SOB building, in the hallway, the tunnel through to the state capitol, and sitting on his lap pushing the yes or no buttons, mainly no, back in the 70s. And then as I went through college and opened up my studio, McDonald Studio, I worked, did some photography for my father and several other state legislators down here at the Capitol, photographing their portrait. So it's an honor and privilege to be back serving then the Wright County as a state representative.
Is there any particular memory that you hold or that you remember strongly from when your father was in office?
Well, I guess it would have to be going to the House floor and sitting on his lap and letting us push the buttons and see the green light or the red light, and just going in the back chambers as well, where most people, the public necessarily weren't allowed, I guess, but at least the children could. So that and running through the hallways until my father, the tunnel to the state capitol, my father telling us kids to slow down, and then hearing the echo as a fond memory.
And what led you to run for state representative?
Well, my father instilled in all of us children the service, the duties and responsibility to serve your community in all capacities. So after school, when I opened up my photo studio in Delano, I joined the Chamber of Commerce and became the Chamber President and served in that capacity. And then the next step was there was a seat opened up on the City Council. So I ran for City Council to serve my community. And then mayor, seats opened up for mayor, so I ran for the city of Delano for the mayor, which I currently hold right now until December 21st, our last meeting. And then when Tom Emmer, my good friend from Delano, who he and I served on the council together, got the nomination for governor, the question was, am I interested in running for state rep for Wright County? So a lot of prayer and discernment and discussion with my father and mother and my wife and family, I decided to run.
If you could offer up the first bill of the session, what would it be?
That's a very good question. There's many bills. I suppose the bill that would balance the budget.
That would be a big one.
It would indeed, yeah. The bill to hopefully cut some of the spending, the wasteful spending perhaps. You know, at a city of Delano, we've had to cut spending. Every family and business in the city has, and I think we're all excited to do that here to balance that budget.
When the end of session finally rolls around in May, what would determine whether or not you have been a successful legislator?
Well, I think that if I continue to communicate with the people back home, because I'm a business owner and I'll be traveling back and forth from Delano and Wright County, that I think it'll be, the decision will be made or thought that if I was an effective communicator with the people who elected me, I kept in touch, I voiced their concern, I spoke for them, I voted the same way they would vote. So I think at the end of the session will be my voting record, and if my constituents back in Wright County appreciate and agree with my voting record, those who elected me here and put me here, that will spell success for all of us in Wright County.
If you could sit down and have a conversation with anyone, living or deceased, who would it be and what would you talk about?
Do I just get one?
You can have multiple if you'd like.
I'd have to say my grandfather, my dad's dad, Kenneth McDonald. I didn't meet him. He died 3 years before I was born, but for prosperity's sake, but Ronald Reagan would be my next person I'd love to sit down and talk with. My father had a chance to meet him at the Oval Office and receive an award from him, but I'm a big fan of his and certainly would love to be able to speak with him. And so Thomas Jefferson comes, Benjamin Franklin, so many great people I would like to visit with. And hopefully someday will, good Lord willing.
I've reached the end of my questions. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or something that you would like to add?
Well, just that it is deeply humbling to be here to represent the folks in my county, my district. And I'm very thankful for them, for all the volunteers that worked hard, door knocking and parade walking, and of course my family, my wife Rachel and the 3 boys, the sacrifice that they made. I am deeply grateful and show a great appreciation for my family, my parents, and all those who helped me get here.